Alright, hello YouTube. Just looking at a little program, Ship Sinking Simulator, that I made a video of a couple days ago. And basically, this video is just going to demonstrate the realistic buoyancy that this program demonstrates. So, as you guys should know, this grayish color on the outside is whole and it does not flood. The white here can be flooded, and this inside color on the back can be flooded as well. So the white basically represents air, where, it's crew can be, for example, since it's a submarine. And, as you guys can see, there's little compartments that you can go through and all this other good stuff. And because I'm flooding the upper deck, I need to put on a little bit more water before it will go down. And we're going to have all of this up here, all this white area, flooded. And I will show you guys why here in just a moment, once it all floods. As you guys can see, it's taking on a little bit more water here as we punched a hole in the front end. A little bit of a stress point right there, I don't like that, but it should be alright. So the whole idea, though, of this is to basically, this whole top compartment will fill up along this whole front piece right here. This lower compartment where these wooden bunks are will not be flooded. It will remain air. Now the weight of the upper portion should force the whole thing down underneath the water. If that is true, and we basically cut this whole top part off, the bottom part should float back to the surface, which would enable, the crew that remained alive in the unfloated part to get rescued. That was basically the whole little idea I had when I edited the submarine, to be able to do this. If it was, a military submarine and it took a torpedo hit, and only the top half flooded. Of course, in real life, submarines have multiple decks and they have hatches that close and everything else. But this is just my version on this program to do it this way. So as you guys can see, we're starting to go down nose first. And before long, I can demonstrate what I was talking about with the whole buoyancy thing. So just let this go down a little bit farther. I'm going to have to put some water on the back end here to get that to sink, and I will. Let's go ahead and break that open. Alright, so as you guys can see now, this whole the majority of this is underneath the water. This apparently is not important at the moment. Actually, it won't be important at all. So we're just going to focus on this part right here. And now, as you guys can see, right here is a little compartment. It's not connected to this, not connected to anything else except for its own little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut right through here. And if we do this carefully enough, right there should break, which it did. And then, I don't know if I can do this without flooding it, yeah. Okay, so basically just hurry up and cut through this very quickly, and it might work. Okay, so that's my own fault for that one. Let's try on a bigger piece, such as this right here, on the main part of the submarine. Just gotta be extremely careful. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and come here to options and hit pause. This pauses the simulation, and it no longer will sink until I tell it to resume. And I think I cut it there in a few places where it might take on water, but hopefully it can still demonstrate my point before that happens. I come through here and cut off basically all this water. It's on the top. Make sure no little beams are connecting it still. And we're going to go back to hit play. Okay, good. Now as you guys can see, one, it's not taking on water, which is a good thing, and two, it is actually floating back up. And it's got a lot of stress up here on the top because it's bending, you know, with the water forcing on its ends. Ooh, need to cut that off. Or get off there. There we go. But the heavier parts that have the water in them sink to the bottom while this part floats. I was kind of surprised at how detailed this little simulator is and how well it shows all the little effects that a ship or submarine or a part of a ship goes through, whatever, you know, is doing out in the ocean. So for example, if you got a sunken submarine with like 2 compartments that aren't flooded and you cut everything away from those 2 compartments, the rest of it that's air will float back up. And I just didn't expect this program to simulate that, but it did, and I was very surprised. And you know, it's gonna be done with other ships too, and custom-made ships, you know, whatever it is. Just as long as, you know, a piece of it, a large piece, doesn't get flooded. So as you guys can see though, right now we're about ready to break the water surface, and sploosh. Yeah, that's my ocean sound effects. Anyway, I'll see y'all later.